Hello and welcome to another episode of What's Next in Emergency Management with Michael Prasad. He is a certified emergency manager, which is a registered trademark of the International Association of Emergency Managers USA, and used with authorization. He is also the owner of both the Center for Emergency Management Intelligence Research and Barton Dunant Emergency Management Training and Consulting. This is Season 1, Episode 11. Our special guest is Andrew Boyarsky. Enjoy.
Hi folks, and welcome to the August 2026 episode of the podcast. July was quite busy for me with big events in the state of New Jersey. One of my areas of focus was PACE communications planning for the Red Cross here, related to that big soccer match. PACE is a 4-level deep consequence management plan itself, and we built out a plan to have a backup voice and data communications beyond our primary, that's the P in PACE, into alternate, then contingency, and finally emergency communications. We're now halfway through August, and August is National Emergency Management Awareness Month in the U.S. And at the CEMIR, we've been posting one free concept a day on our Substack. You can see the whole list of 31 days worth of material in one single index post, which I'll be including in the show notes. After a few commercial breaks, I'll highlight the published work from me through the personal work that I do, plus Barton Dunant's work, and the Center for Emergency Management Intelligence Research. But if it looks a little sparse, that's partially due to the event planning this year, so far. But it's also that I've been working on 3 longer book projects and 1 peer-reviewed journal article, which is in its 5th set of revisions from the reviewers. That piece is proving to be a challenge for me because it's in a peer-reviewed journal in an allied field to emergency management. I have to adjust my writing and citation style to theirs. The 3 book projects are a written sort of diary on the work I've been doing to collect and make accessible the collective research and publishing writers of my father, Dr. S. Benjamin Prasad. And I'm taking the web links I've been collecting for the past 2 years related to emergency management threats and hazards, Water, the book I wrote a couple years ago, and making a compendium addition to the prior work. Finally, I've started a 2nd book in the Elemental series for emergency management threats and hazards. This one is Fire. I have a co-author who's a fire chief on this one, and more to come in future episodes.
Barton Dunant's knowledge WordPress site, found at blog.bartondunant.com, has an ever-expanding list of after-action reports. Recently we added the Texas State Report on the flooding tragedy at Camp Mystic on the 4th of July in 2025. You can subscribe to this blog for only $12 a year. There's a special discount for IAEM-USA members too. Go to IAEM Connect via the link in the show notes.
Hello. This is Christopher again. Mike wanted everyone to know that the Center for Emergency Management Intelligence Research and Crisis Lab webinar on civilian support to military operations is back on. The rescheduled date is Thursday, August 27th at 12 noon Eastern Time. Registration info via the survey link will be in the show notes.
Hello, I am an AI-generated avatar, here to present Safer Rooms from Barton Dunant. Safer Rooms are specifically designed for commercial office buildings, offering secure spaces for both staff and visitors during various incidents, addressing all hazards and threats. These rooms can be either retrofitted into existing office spaces or purposefully constructed in new developments. To discover more about Safer Rooms, visit bartondunant.com/safer-rooms.
Look for more conversations between Mike and his guests online. Please subscribe to our CEMIR blog post in the show notes to learn when they will be released.
At the CEMIR Substack, I recently posted the following: an intelligence report on the 2024 CrowdStrike failure and worldwide healthcare industry impacts, privatized triggers and escalation risks in Asian maritime security, a piece analyzing a report of U.S. private unmanned vessels encroaching on Chinese military ships and without direct U.S. military command and control, as well as another intelligence analysis report, trends in ransomware attacks on U.S. hospitals, clinics, and other healthcare delivery organizations from 2016 to 2021. I cross-posted material from Garth Phoebus, Philip Bormans, Patricia Frost, Andrew Rumback, and now Dr. Dan Rector of the Reunification Foundation. That's the first time this month, and you can take a look at the CEMIR site for that post and information. And I continue to add background depth to the SISMO section, including the pieces noted above. And this is in addition to the FBI IC3 alerts, the ASPR Tracy notices, and partner contributions we regularly pass along. And for August of this year, they're posted rather than emailed to reduce the number of emails that we'll be sending out this month. We're doing an email a day, so rather than clog up your email boxes, figured we would sort of just post them and then you can go look for them if you want. Over at Medium, at the Lipper, I have Disenfranchising the Deaf During Disasters. And at Medium's Policy Panorama, a different publication on Medium, I have Is the U.S. Building a Warrior Class? The U.S. military once again seeks to restore a, quote, warrior ethos, unquote. Both of those pieces have connections to emergency management. I write some other non-EM stuff over at Medium as well, under the pen name Barton Dunant. If you're a Medium subscriber, please check them out. And don't forget, if you're a free CEMIR Substack subscriber, we'd love if you invited your friends to subscribe too, so they can read our material along with the rest of us. If you refer your friends, or even your foes, or fiends, you will receive benefits that give you short-term paid level access to the CEMIR Substack. Learn more from the show notes as well too.
We welcome back Andrew Boyarsky of Pinnacle Performance Management to our podcast. You can hear Andrew's prior episode in Season 1, Episode 4.
So I want to say welcome back to Andrew Boyarsky to our What's Next episodes. And start off with the usual first question, which is, what have you been doing last 3 months or so in advocacy, research, and writing? In your case, presenting, I believe, as well, too, in emergency management.
Hey, looking back over the past 3 months, my primary focus has been advancing our emergency management training methodologies and exploring new delivery methods and new ideas and new practices. And this is great because we're currently in August. It's National Emergency Management Awareness Month. I started off this last quarter speaking to my colleague, Ellen Lurie, about logistics and operations and how critical that is to support emergency response. She gave us a really great glimpse into how to support wildland firefighting crews. And then the next podcast that I did was with Justin Cates, who came out with a great article and actually gave a great presentation on the four walls closing in on emergency management professionals. It's a great listen, very interesting about the advent of AI and how that's impacting the emergency management practice. I had a great conversation with my friend and longtime colleague, Dr. Charles Jennings, where we dissected the sweeping new FEMA reforms, what that entails for the emergency management field. And then more recently, released a podcast, the chance to speak to Dr. Eric Sailors, who is a fire chief out in California. I worked with the Sacramento Fire Department for a number of years, and his thesis that he wrote was called Quantifying a Negative. So we talked about how to quantify the work that we do when, quite honestly, nothing happens, and what that, let's say, prevention, that ounce of prevention worth a pound of cure actually is. During all of that, I ran 3 webinars over the past number of months. The first one was Using Tech Without the Headache, where we talked about how to use rolling wave, critical chain logic, and milestone scheduling to really do away with some of the nuts and bolts and getting into a lot of the fancy sort of scheduling software, breaking it down to the essentials. In the next podcast that I did, folks had a chance to do a virtual visit inside the workshop at Project Management for Emergency Managers, where we talked about how to take emergency management work and turn it into executable projects, how to draft, organize, and check the work that we do. And then at the same time to put in some governance controls in there, but basically how to use AI in an ethical and expeditious way to get our work done. And we closed off this series at the end of July with moving from after-action amnesia to closing capability gaps, where we talked about how to take lessons learned and to really implement them by using, again, some methods and tools to make that effective. And with all of these, folks got a workbook to walk away with. The reception has been really positive from the folks who attended. And I think the bottom line here is that practical discipline beats complexity and owned actions beat published reports. And that's really what it comes down to.
Thanks, Andrew. Those podcast episodes sound really neat. I'm going to take a listen, and I'm going to put in a link in the show notes to your podcast as well, too. So on to the second question, of course, which is what are you doing next in the emergency management field in terms of future presentations, additional research, writing, and advocacy?
What are we planning for the next 3 months? Quite literally, as I'm recording this tomorrow, I'm leaving for the IAEM Region 9 Symposium, where I'll be delivering the Project Management for Emergency Managers 2-day Foundations Workshop, which I'm excited to do. It's a full house. I'm excited to be in Honolulu, Hawaii for that. And I'll also be delivering some additional workshops coming up. So I have a workshop coming up starting online. So it's the first time I'm delivering this online. Oh, I've taught online for many years. So starting September 18th through October 10th, 4 Saturdays, 3-hour commitment on each Saturday. So a total of 12 contact hours. That's the total for that 2 days, equivalent of 2 days. And it'll be great. Hands-on, same sort of thing that we teach in the classroom, you'll be getting online. We already have some participants that are signed up for that. I'm also delivering a 1-day boot camp at the National IAEM Conference in Long Beach coming up in early November. November 7th, I think, is that date. So please take a look for all of those sessions. You can go to www.pm4em.com to get more information. And another thing that I've been working on, so I'll talk about what we were finishing. So one of the things I was working on is an emergency game with Dr. Arthur Simmental, who is the head of disaster gaming. Some of you may know him. He's quite active in this field. He's doing incredible work. And I've had the good fortune to be able to work with him. We've actually taken something that I've worked on over years for a prototype stage to a final sort of beta pilot testing. So we'll be testing that on September 1st. I'm excited to be able to do that. There's a number of people, my colleagues here in Region 2 and others that we're going to be bringing in for that to test that one day. And then that will be released publicly, hoping in September. By mid to late September, we should be getting at this. So stay tuned for that. That's all. Wrap things up. Oh, one last thing here is I'm going to be speaking at the Keystone Emergency Management Association. That's Pennsylvania. For those who are unsure or unaware of the Keystone State moniker for Pennsylvania. So that'll be September 27th. I'll be delivering a hands-on interactive exercise together with my colleague, Anthony Mangieri, who I've worked with on a number of occasions. It'll be exciting. First time to speak at the CEMIR conference. So I'm looking forward to that.
All great stuff, Andrew. Thanks a lot. I'll also put a link into your PM4EM website as well, too, so folks can, if they can, travel to those sites and find you on tour, basically, this year. So thanks again, Andrew, for coming on the show. Well, that's a wrap for this episode. You'll hear us or see us next month on the next episode. And everybody take care.
This is the end of the episode for podcast listeners. Please consider liking and subscribing to help us in the ratings. Paid CEMIR Substack subscribers can comment there. We don't look at comments anywhere else. There's a wee bit more video and music on the Substack version after this. Goodbye.
Chicken.